So myself Abhijit Day. I'm from Axis Bank India. Currently, I'm the Vice President in Digital Banking. I'm heading the API banking product, WhatsApp and chatbot. Okay, I'm building a couple of digital journeys, and I have built so far many digital journeys to onboard customers. Right. So in last couple of years, especially after pandemic, what we have seen that we need completely paperless onboarding, right? And India is a huge population, the demography is very large, right? So building something very digital was always a challenge, and we cracked it somehow, right? So now corporate, they can use our APIs, retail customers, they can book term deposit, retail customer, they can do chat with us over WhatsApp, right? So all these done via API banking, right? And that's the journey I have made here in Axis. Previously I was with other bank in India, almost on the same role, right? And I'm completely into a digital role for last 6-7 years. Look, I'm a very optimistic guy in my life, right? And whenever we talk about failure, I personally always find something positive out of it. And I know likewise all the banks and all the seniors in multiple all the banks, right? They're also looking that positiveness, right? So the positiveness is the moment you fail, you learn something from that failure, right? And on your next venture, you will get a success, and that's what had happened in India, right? If you see the banks which are operating, right, be the private bank or the PSUs, right, we all are operating for almost 30-40 years. So we have seen lots of changes in the society. We have seen the changes in the technology stack. I mean, all of the legacy applications are now getting upgraded, right? So when you are having a bank-wide transformation program, right, and the number of customers which we are having, you are running a transformation program for those customers, it's complex, right? And when you are having complex architecture, sometimes you will fail. But if you ask me precisely what is the main reason, is that the setting up the target and setting up the context on the very first day, right? Because again, the huge data, huge set of application and technology stack, legacy applications, sometimes you get deviated from the objective, right? So if you have the object right on your mind, definitely you will get the success. That's what I have seen in many of my projects, right? And it's not only me. I mean, it's completely my personal view. I have spoken to many of my peers in other Indian banks, even in the global banks, right? They are also facing the same thing. We started a project with a certain objective, and later on, if we couldn't, write up the stories properly, right? Sometimes, here and there, new requirement come, we get deviated from the objective, right? So that deviation shouldn't happen. Then you will definitely get the success. In our banks and in other banks also, in last 3-4 years, almost all the projects are running in Agile method, right? So we are not going for those waterfall model, right? We are going more on Agile, where we are going on a MVP mode. We are interviewing, we are getting the feedback from the market, we are creating a user story, we are validating the story with even with our customers, right? We select the customers, we validate that these are the requirements of yours and these are the solution which we are building. Once the validation is done, then we start the development, right? So this actually do a double verification on your thought process, on your concept. See, any technology project or any transformation project, it's nothing but an implementation of your concept, right? You are not building anything very physically. There is no touch and go kind of feel, right? You will have to build something virtual. In case of virtual, your concept and your virtualized concept and the reality should match. So where that match will happen, definitely the validation should come from the customer. Also, in Agile method, the most positive thing is that there are multiple stakeholders, right? In banks, you have a tech, you have risk, you have compliance, you have lots of control function bodies, you have product guys, business. So we bring all the stakeholders in one single platform where we talk to each other. There are daily working sessions and all these cohorts. We validate and revalidate our thoughts, right? Then we deliver things. So that's why this Agile method for implementing this complex project are being very successful lately, right? And in our organization also, see, the challenge is always, everything, there is nothing to be called very super successful, right? There can be a negative thing. So in Agile, what we have seen, that sometimes we lose the rack, but again it's totally dependent upon the scrum master, how strongly he or she is holding the pen, right? Because she or he is the ultimate authority in the pod, so we are distributing the huge workload or responsibilities into multiple pods, right? And every pod is owned by some pod owner or the scrum master, so that's why the control is there. How soon you are in GTM, how soon is your go to market strategy, right? Because see, ultimately whatever you do, you are doing it for your customer, you are doing it for your bank's growth, you are doing it for the society, right? Anything, any project, right? So we measure it normally with the customer satisfaction level, we measure it with the success metrics of the customer feedback. Obviously number is always a key, right? Number is always the key, but customer success stories are very important, customer feedback is very important, and the change in the society is also important, right? So these are the 3-4 large or major key factors through which we measure the success of any agile project. We ideate a concept, then we get it validated with our customer, then we identify who all will be the plausible stakeholders in this project, right? Now we identify each of the stakeholders, we create a pod, there are daily or monthly cohorts happen, we validate and revalidate our thoughts each and every day, right? We measure the improvement, or we measure the development life cycle, right, in the pod only. So if someone is committing that I'll be delivering my part of work by 10th, from 8th only we start following up with them, right? If there is any deviation with proper reason, you will have to cite there. So that's how we are measuring the entire timeline of the project and the delivery. So this is one benefit of having this agile methodology, right? You are having everyone in the same table, right, in the same umbrella. So that's how this entire methodology is being implemented, and I can tell you 50 to 60% is on the technology side, because we are digitizing things. See, one very important thing I should tell you, there is a difference between digital and digitization. The difference is, if I have a manual process today, and in that manual process I need to do 10 manual steps, I have to enter 10 manual data touch point, right? Going digital means I'll do this from paperless to digital. But when I'm saying digitization, it means these 10 steps will reduce to 2 and in digital, right? So we are thinking of the digitization, where the paper work will not be there. There will be no face-to-face touch point, but the number of steps will be reduced. So the total onboarding time or the total journey time will be reduced to 70-80% lesser time. So that's how we are thinking, and that's why all of these projects are mostly technology driven. I got introduced by many fintechs in Singapore, right? They are coming up with lots more new ideas. Like, I like those ideas, right? I mean, whether we'll be able to implement it or not, that's a separate question. But the initial thought is wow, it's a nice idea, right? So that one good thing. The second is that sharing of knowledge. See, any such forum, we all come here, share our own experience, share our own personal experience, views, and all. Sometimes you also get validated. See, validation is such a thing in this digital world that is very important, because whatever I'm thinking right now, I'm thinking within my mind. Until and unless I'm sharing with someone, I'll not be validated, right? So that validation part is very important, and that I've got here, right? So these two are the important thing I like here.